We've come so far since my inauguration. On that day, I told you, as I stood in that winter, we stood in a winter of peril and a winter of possibilities. Peril and possibilities.
So Joe Biden addressed the nation for the first time today since being threatened and forced out of the election by his fellow Democrats, and it went about as well as you think it would. He stuttered and stammered all the way through, struggling to read the teleprompter, and I don't know if anyone else has noticed this lately, but the dude is starting to turn orange. I'm not kidding. This is not a joke. Joe Biden is starting to turn orange. I don't know if he thought it would help him in the polls before he dropped out, but he's literally turning into the thing that he hated most. He is turning into Donald Trump, but I guess if you can't beat him, join him, right?
And the truth, the sacred cause of this country is larger than any one of us. And those of us who cherish that cause, cherish it so much, a cause of American democracy itself, must unite to protect it. You know, in recent weeks, it's become clear to me that I need to unite my party in this critical endeavor. I believe my record as president, my leadership in the world, my vision for America's future, all merited a second term. But nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition. So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. That's the best way to unite our nation. You know, there is a time and a place for long years of experience in public life. But there's also a time and a place for new voices.
But this whole little speech he gave, it came off as a farewell speech. Like, it literally sounds like this is the last time we're going to see the guy. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Like, if you just listen to the entire speech, I'm not sure how many of you all tuned in. It literally sounds like he's waving his goodbyes and he's walking off into the sunset while pretending that he did an awesome job as president. He was so great as president that he has to drop out of the race. I mean, to save face, I think he should just not say anything at all. But instead, he's sitting down, addressing the nation, trying to list all of these accomplishments, even though we know he has accomplished nothing. And he's trying to convince everyone that he's one of the best presidents ever. Meanwhile, he literally has to drop out of the race because he's so horrible and because he's basically brain dead at this point. Meanwhile, as this speech is going on, Trump is having a rally and he's still making fun of Joe Biden. And I think that's one thing that people really like about Trump. He has a good sense of humor. Let's listen to what Trump has to say.
Biden doesn't know he's alive. You know, the head of the FBI was, you know that, right? He was in front of Congress today, and one of the great congressmen asked him a question. Have you ever noticed in all your meetings with Biden that he's cognitively a degenerate? And he said, no, I never noticed that. I never noticed that. No, really, there was nothing to talk about. I never noticed that. Now, anybody that says that, you know they're not telling the truth. It's a very serious thing. It's a very serious thing. No, I didn't notice. I didn't notice. No, I didn't notice. I didn't notice he couldn't stand up. I didn't notice he can't walk. And I didn't notice he can't think and he couldn't talk. Other than that, he's doing quite well, however. Thank you. No, he didn't notice. That's a very bad thing. Very bad thing. Very sick.
You know, Trump has a really good point there. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not throwing too much weight behind a lot of these hearings that are going on right now with the director of the Secret Service, the head of the FBI, you name it. There's all of these hearings about the Trump rally tragedy. And you got all of these politicians in there. They're pretending to be angry. They're pretending to demand answers to their questions. Meanwhile, a lot of them have been wishing death on Donald Trump for a long time. And they're probably upset that Thomas Matthew Crooks missed. But also, I mean, it's not like we're really getting any honesty. And as Trump said, I mean, the head of the FBI can't sit down and be honest about Joe Biden obviously not being all the way there mentally. So if he can't be honest about that, what makes you think he's going to be honest about anything else? I mean, when it comes to the Joe Biden stuff, it's not like this is top secret information. This is something that every single American notices. If you ever watched Joe Biden talk, if you ever saw him at one of these events, you notice that there is something wrong with him. You notice that he slurs his words. He forgets what he's talking about mid-sentence. He can't get off stage. He's walking off at the wrong time, walking in the wrong direction. This is something everyone notices. So if you're going to be in denial and lie about something like that, something that's blatantly obvious right in everyone's face, what makes you think they're going to tell the truth about like top secret information? What makes you think they're going to come out and be like, yeah, it was a conspiracy to take down Trump. Here's everything we know. No, of course not. Of course not. And that's why I knew this investigation into this tragedy was horse crap to begin with, because why would you? The FBI is investigating the Trump rally tragedy. Meanwhile, I think, the majority of us who have been paying attention to this situation, we think they may be the ones involved. It's like I said at the beginning when all of this happened, having the FBI investigate this situation is like taking the lead suspect in a case and appointing them as the lead investigator in a case where they're the lead suspect as well. You know what I mean? So like the FBI is like suspect number, maybe not number one, but maybe 1, 2, 3. It's up there with these 3-letter agencies that I think a lot of us think are involved in what happened with Trump. But yeah, if they're not going to be honest about Biden, they're not going to be honest about anything. But this is a conversation that we're not going to be having, for much longer, because Biden is out of there. Now it's time to refocus our attention on Kamala or whoever else steps up next. But for now, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell. And if you find yourself getting too worked up by all of this, remember, it's just political sentiment.